Let's talk about the Trump indictments. I've been on Twitter, and I know it's probably funny to see me smiling about this. It's very concerning, obviously. Uh, and I'm glad that they're showing their hand. I'm glad that they're showing that they have hardly any strategy. I haven't been excited about 2024 with Trump. In 2015, I was so excited. I was all aboard Trump. Everything. I was listening to all his rallies. I really don't listen to his rallies anymore. It's just kind of like, blah, the same. But I'm excited now, and I'm full in. I'm full in for Trump. Even if he gets put behind bars, I am going to vote for him, and I would love for him to be president behind bars, which is not going to happen because he's got these Secret Service people. This is a sham. From what I know, this is a sham. This is from all the stuff I've been listening to. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know all the damn details about everything. So if you want to know the details about things, look it up yourself. Um, from my understanding, and I could be wrong about some of this stuff, but he's got 34 counts that are brought down on him. Um, Yesterday, the DA Bragg didn't even have an interview. He just went right to his car and left. So he didn't even have the balls to have an interview about this. He should have had an interview. Um, from my understanding, he's already been investigated for this stuff. They've already looked past it and they've said that's not a big deal. And from what I'm hearing, I don't know, but this is what I'm hearing. He's already looked over it himself and kind of said no, but now he's doing it now. And he's Trump has been out of the presidency for over 2 years now, and they've had all this time to go ahead and go after him, but they're going to go after him now when he's campaigning for president because they want some type of conviction on him. And from what I'm hearing, there could be some states that won't recognize his name on a ballot if he's got some kind of conviction or something like that. I don't know for sure. So this is a part of their strategy. They're trying to hinder him. They want to hinder his campaign strategy for him to go campaigning and stuff. He might have to go appear in court and stuff like that. They've been trying to nail Trump against the wall for 7 years now. Non-stop, relentless. They've investigated him more than anybody I've ever heard of in my entire life. And he's come out clean every single time. Now, if you understand this man, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do drugs, and from what I understand, he's never done any of that his whole life. He might have had like a cigar or something, or maybe a cocktail here and there, but he doesn't do that stuff. He's pretty straight edge. Now he doesn't have the best diet, but he's actually pretty good role model for people. Besides, he's got a narcissistic personality. I'm not sure me and him would probably get along that well. I mean, we'd be okay, but he seemed like he's more into material things. I mean, I'd be like, I don't know. Maybe we would get along. Maybe we would. Who the hell knows? But I don't care about his personal stuff. The whole thing is a message. That's the whole thing. That's why I support him, because I like his message. I like his anti-establishment mentality, his anti-establishment message, because he's old. Eventually, somebody else is going to have to take his place. There's going to be other leaders that have to step up. Highly charismatic, and they hate him so bad. The people on the left hate him so bad. I just don't. I mean, if they had valid reasons, like if he had some serious crimes, they accuse him of all this stuff. I get all these tweets on Twitter, oh, this, and I'm like, okay, what's he been convicted of? And they don't say nothing because he hasn't been convicted of anything. He might have allegations, whatever. If you're running a huge business like he has with all these different real estates, there's no way in hell you can go through every single business document and make sure all the T's and I's are dotted. All the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. You have to rely on other people. And from what I understand, and I could be wrong, which is, he might have been with Stormy McDaniels. I heard that there was a couple affidavits or something like that that she said that she wasn't with them. She was, she wasn't. Now she was trying to, I think she was trying to get fame out of it, popularity. Even if she was, who gives a damn? I don't care about his personal life. I ain't perfect, and most people ain't perfect either. So I'm sure there's a lot of these famous people that they have people that they've encountered at some point in their life. Okay, let's say for instance, I've been with a lot of women in my life, and let's say I gain some type of fame in the future, and I'm still alive when it happens. And then they try to come after me for some bullshit that they haven't said anything about all this time. They've haven't had any problems, but all of a sudden, as soon as I have some money or some type of pull, they're gonna come after me. That I'm sure that there's a lot of these type of situations where they just like pay these people off. Just be like, it's better for you just to be paid off and shut your mouth than this to come out and try to ruin me over some bullshit that didn't even happen. Your perception of things or whatever. Bring up these stupid allegations. It's better to, instead of going through court and spending all this money, I'll just spending like $1 million on this case and spending my time. I could just pay this person like $150,000 and they'll just go away and they have to shut their mouth, or else I can sue them. I'm sure this happens a lot, and from what I'm hearing, and this. We don't know the allegations, and a lot of people are speculating that it has to do with, they think that he took money out of his campaign funds and gave it to Stormy Daniels to shut her up. And from what I'm hearing is Cohen used his own money just to pay her off, and so she would go away, probably because he just didn't want to deal with that shit. Who knows if Trump even knew about it? If Trump even knew about the problem, maybe I think I heard Tim Pool saying this, is what if she was like saying, what if he was just like, I just don't want to deal with that. That's a bunch of bullshit. I can just pay her off and that's it, and I ain't gotta have to deal with all that extra work. And Trump didn't even know about it. He might have, Hey, Trump might have just said, hey, I'm gonna use my campaign funds even though I have billions of dollars to. It's just so weird that he would do that maliciously. You know what I mean? When you have like $4 or $5 billion and you're worried about 100,000, it's like it just kind of weird. It doesn't make any sense. I guess if he doesn't want his wife to find out, but like when you have that type of money, I just don't think that you. I just think there's so many different outlets that you can off-rail money to different allotments and then pay that person off. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, dude. I don't know. I never paid nobody off. I probably will never have, probably never be in that not opportunity. I'll never be in that position. But it's weird to me that the DA is so concerned about some misfilings that, from what I hear, is the statutes of limitations have expired, because I think the ones that we don't know yet, we don't know, there could be some stuff that we don't know that's in there. But from what I'm hearing, he's trying to hybrid or combine some things and make them into felonies, and that's the problem, some misdemeanors, because those statute of limitations have ran off. I think it's like 2 years, they said, for like misfiling paperwork or something like that. And if I was in New York, I guess the liberal people don't care, because they really don't. I mean, they obviously vote for the dumbest things anyway, because they just think about emotions and not actual logic and like long-term effects of things. These people are fine with these violent criminals just being released right out on the streets. He's more concerned about some misfilings of paperwork than these violent criminals ravaging their cities. That's what he should be worried about, is locking up these animals and prosecuting these people and keeping them off the street. But no, he wants to be in the spotlight. That's what I think. I also think that there is some connection with the elites and the establishment, whatever that means, whether it's the deep state or these, like I said, elites, kind of like a George Soros. That George Soros did fund him. From what I'm hearing, Bragg did run on trying to indict Trump. So like that just shows obvious bias towards that person. And it's funny to see all these people on Twitter just gloat, like they are seriously gloating. They're just like celebrating like he's been indicted and he's going to be in prison for the rest of his life. It's really sad, honestly. It's really pathetic that they are cool with it, the perception. Not saying this, I don't know, man. Maybe they have good stuff on them, but the perception is, especially to regular people like me who are paying attention to anything, the perception is the left is using the justice system for their own personal gain. What the perception is, they are going after Trump to try to eliminate him because he's a political adversary. That's what it looks like. Do I have any proof of this happening? No, but that's what it looks like. You see Democrats like Nancy Pelosi, she just tweeted out yesterday that he has the ability to prove his innocence in court. Well, it's innocence till proven guilty. So that's some further evidence that shows that these Democrats, they really don't care about the justice system. They don't care about the integrity of the justice system. They only care about whatever benefits them. And that's very concerning. That's very concerning for the average person. Because when you're an elite, and trust me, Trump is an elite. Now, if he did some things and he's convicted, yes, he should have to face the consequences, whatever that is. Just like anybody else. But when it seems like there's crimes that are committed that should be investigated on the left that aren't, when you see like Nancy Pelosi and her husband making millions of dollars of what perceives to be insider trading, I mean, how hard is it to come from work and be like, hey babe, this government program is going to be investing in this AI technology at Microsoft and next month. And then he goes out and buys Microsoft before they invest, and then he makes millions. This is what they do. If you think that these people don't have, and they're married, they don't talk about this stuff. It's blatant insider trading. I don't care if they're married or not. It shouldn't be going on. It's very suspicious. I'm hearing there's like AOC is having discrepancies in some of her campaign funding. When you see Ilhan Omar, it's not, it doesn't look good when she has some guy she was seeing who it was her campaign manager, and she's paying him right out of her campaign funds to give like analysis or whatever direction for her campaign. And then she ends up marrying the guy or whatever. She's still with them. So that means like whatever money he made out of her campaign funds that she gets now. Like, that's not a conflict of interest. And the FBI doesn't do anything about this. The Joe Biden stuff, man. The weird stuff that comes out of there. Like, I haven't done any deep dives, and I don't even want to look at that laptop. People post stuff up on there, but I don't really follow it. But there should be some investigations on these people, but they don't get investigated, and that's why it looks like a two-tier system. And regular people like me don't like that shit. You're gonna tell me I have to live a certain way, but you can live whatever way you want. It's just like the climate change crisis bullshit. When these elites are all here causing a lot of climate crisis problems, by living high on the hog. They ain't like going living off grid. No, they're living it up. They're living it up like having 100 people's worth of carbon being produced for them, or thousands of people, whatever, man. They have these huge lavish mansions. Do as I say, not as I do. And I just don't like that attitude. I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to trust anything you say. You have to wear a mask, but I don't have to wear a mask. I don't like that elitist attitude. I'll rebel against it. That's why I haven't had the little thing. The little thing. Because I don't like the way that they're going. I don't my perception of the government, my perception of these politicians, I don't think highly of them. You got Lindsey Graham. He just tweeted today, Trump should go break some windows and beat up some cops on it or something like that, and they'll release him. So when I look at something like that, obviously what he's trying to portray in that type of tweet is he's saying, you could be a violent person in New York and they'll just put you right back on the street. It won't matter. But when you're a politician and you're for law and order and shit like that, you don't say ignorant shit like that in a tweet. You can say something like that, being like condescending or what sarcasm on TV or something like that, but when you put that into words in a tweet, people can perceive that the wrong way, because they don't really have a good, I don't know, you understand what I'm saying. But when you're on TV, you can present body language. You know, there's different types of indicators that people will be like, okay, he's just joking, he's just poking fun. Well, you can't. He didn't put no emoji at the end. He didn't put nothing. So it looks like he's saying just be violent. That's what it looks like. And Lindsey Graham is one of the biggest pieces of shit out here. He is one. You got up here the MAGAs, who I really enjoy. And if Tulsi Gabbard was a politician still, she'd be up here too. And then you got the rhinos and the Uniparty down here, and then with the Democrats and shit. And then at the very fucking bottom, you got someone like Lindsey Graham or Mitch McConnell, because they are some of the biggest fucking snakes. They want to act like they're for the people, but then they do the exact opposite. They're some of the biggest two-faced people I've ever seen in my life. They talk out of both sides of their mouth. When you think of a corrupt, lying politician, these are the people you think about. At least with the Democrats, they come right out and say, fuck you. You know, right in your face. Like, you know, like the Nancy Pelosi tweet, it's not the government proving him guilty. It's he has to prove his innocence. At least she's not lying. At least we know she's corrupt. We don't know. We know if you're not paying attention, you're gonna think that Lindsey Graham's on your side if you're not really paying attention, and if you're just a regular person. And that's why he's one of the worst that there is out here. I'm definitely voting Trump at this point. I hope that DeSantis stays out of it. I think it'd be really, really smart of him to stay out of the primaries. There's no reason for him to get involved. Let Trump go up there, do his thing. And if the GOP doesn't support him, if they want to sabotage Trump like they've done with MAGA candidates in the 2022 elections, I might just go ahead and vote Democrat. You know, I'm an independent voter, dude, and I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. If they sabotage Trump and then they try to bring out someone like Nikki Haley or something like that, or even a DeSantis, I like DeSantis, but if they try to do that, I might just vote Democrat and accelerate this shit. I might vote Democrat clear across the board. And I might even be going on Twitter and ranting and trying to get people to. I might even start going in ballot harvesting and shit for the Democrats. Like if the because fuck them, man. If they're gonna go ahead and sabotage shit again, fuck them and fuck the Republicans. That's my attitude. I think that I think that generally speaking, most of the Republicans are okay. Obviously, the MAGA ones are the best. The MAGA ones are the best, because they are more for about freedom and actually, investing. It looks like they're having hearings and shit. Um, and I, so yeah, this whole thing about Trump is just it's such a crazy fascination and obsession that the left have with them. And it's I'm wondering what we're being distracted from right now too. Like, what are we being distracted from? We're not really hearing too much about the finances and the banking institutions. Like, I wonder what I guess BRICS. Saudi Arabia is joining up with BRICS. So BRICS is getting stronger. From what I hear about BRICS, is still pretty weak compared to us, but all it takes is more countries to join, man. It's kind of like El Salvador, how they back their currency with Bitcoin. If you start seeing other countries do that, and I hear that El Salvador is amazing right now. I hear that their crime has dropped dramatically. It seems like a beacon of freedom, and it might be someplace I might actually want to go live one day. Or a place like that. That I'd rather live in a colder environment. I really don't like the hot. I know I'm weird. I like the cold, but but if it's a place for freedom, that could be a possible destination for somebody like me. Um, I don't agree with everything that Trump says. He's against crypto. He's all about the dollar. And I didn't like some of the people that he brought in there, and he's still pro-vaccine. And I don't agree with everything. And these people on the left, they do it all the time. They say, "You're in a cult. You're in a cult," and they automatically assume because I wear this hat, I'm in a cult. Which I'm not gonna say that there aren't cult members or that are MAGA. I'm not gonna say that. There's people that just completely agree with everything that the leaders are saying. Like, for instance, I called out Tommy Lauren on Twitter, and I said basically, um, she was talking crap about like there's trans fat people. Okay, people. So she was saying stuff, and I basically, I put, yeah, I agree. You should go make, but go make your husband a sandwich. And I said, you have wasted your time. We need activists right now. We don't need any more TV reporters. We don't need any more TV personalities. You've done nothing with your fame but make money. Just go make a family with your husband and take care of your kids. And I mean that. These people like that haven't done shit with their fucking fame. They haven't organized anything. There's some. I'm not gonna say that they have. They haven't done speaking events, and they don't. But I'm just saying, they don't organize boycotts. Like Sticks was saying, if people really want to get upset about this, then take like a national like a week off of work, take your money out of the bank, kind of like a national boycott. They don't orchestrate any of this shit. What is Sticks gonna do? Like, what is somebody like I'm gonna do? When you got a huge platform, and then you have other people that have huge platforms, you can get your message out there big time. I mean, Sticks is one person. I think he's got 500,000 people following him or something like that, which is fucking huge. And I wish I had something like that. But it's still only 500,000 people compared to like millions of people. Even Tim Pool only has so much of a reach. But when you have, my point is, when you have all these different people that you can go to that can help you out, and you don't do shit with your time, you don't do shit to try to help the cause. It's just a grift. You're just doing it to make money. And there's a lot of these people like this. I'm looking at people who keeps posting content like outrage content or shocking content, and they're offended by it. It's like nothing. Like, if you've been following anything that's been going on, nothing should really offend you anymore. You should be outraged, or shock valued out. Like, you should be just like, okay, it doesn't really affect me. I'm kind of desensitized to that shit now. So let's move on. What are we gonna do about it? In effect, you're actually doing the opposite. You're giving them more attention, and that's what they want. If you was just to ignore them, they probably would go away. But you're putting more and more attention on them. So, yeah, Twitter's blowing up right now, which should be, and I'm fucking addicted, man. I can't get off of it. It's taking all my attention right now. Um, I don't trust the government. It looks like they're scared. It looks like they don't know how to strategize properly, and I think that this is going to backfire big time. So I'm glad that they did this. I'm glad that they showed their hand. I'm glad that I hope that he has handcuffs. I hope they take a picture of him in handcuffs, and it's going to backfire big time. It's going to rally up the base. I think that they think that people are going to think that he's weak, and this is going to strengthen what he has been saying about the deep state. This strengthens him because it does. You know what it does is it gives him. I gotta get off of this because my battery's about to die. But it gives credence to what he's been saying about them, the nonstop attacks, and people are people. If they look a little bit farther into the future, they can see that, like he said, they're after me right now. Well, they'll be after you next. And these people on the left who keep on celebrating this shit, what they don't understand is they're just useful idiots. They're just pawns in it. And if we if we usher in communism, they'll be the first to starve. I probably will starve. But people that like me that are there's more people like me that can take care of themselves off grid than there is that are leftists. Those people will starve. It will be they don't. I can't even say like what they. It would just be a nightmare to live in those cities because they completely rely on rural people or hardworking people to keep their infrastructure going, and they don't understand that. They don't understand that these blue states are blue, but if these red counties start leaving, which they should be able to leave, um, they would lose some of their tax paying money. They would lose was it some delegates or something? They would lose houses in the house seats in the house. Um, uh, they would be weaker and they wouldn't be able to be slave owners over the slaves because that's essentially what these people are who are in rural areas and blue states because they aren't being represented. They're just going the opposite and they're going for what the people in the cities are. But people in the cities live in a bubble. They don't live in reality. And a lot of these people think that food just comes up on the shelves, I guess. And they make fun of people they'd be like, you're uneducated. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, bitch, what do you know about real life? What have you done with your life? Oh, you sit up on Twitter all day? Oh, okay. Do you ever had a family? No. And that's what people need to understand about this movement that that they're celebrating is it's a self-correcting it's self-correcting because they can't have babies. So this is why we need to separate ourselves from them so they don't mess with our kids. That's why I say if you have kids, what you want to do is take a lower standard of living so you can protect your kids, so you can homeschool your kids and stop worrying about material shit and keep your kids away from these people and that cancer that they're spreading because that cancer will eventually die out because they can't have their own kids. I mean, they when their kids in the womb, they get rid of it, or they're mutilating the kids that are out because who knows. So just let them do that, and we just need to separate ourselves. We're completely different in our philosophies. That's why they need to live on their own thing, and they will die off, and so will their ideology. All of it's just a trend right now. We need to separate ourselves from these people, and they don't like. And pardon me, I gotta get off of this. I'll talk about this later.